Hi, it's been 2 years since I made my Wraith King guide, so I feel like we should be ready for Wraith King 2.0. Way back, I preached this idea of building a Radiance on Wraith King, a hero who blinks into the middle of fights, uses Q on a target and deletes him with a crit. A hero who has a passive that keeps him alive and a get out of jail free card that can also be used aggressively in his ult. Oh look, here is an unrelated clip of Brewmaster, that's weird. But honestly, to people who like Wraith King who want to test the waters in more advanced mechanics like micro and crowd control, Brewmaster might be the key. He acts as this transition point between your basic hit things to make them die carry, and the enigma that is Meepo or Chen or Arc Warden. In the grand scheme of things, Brewmaster offers an AoE slow, a mischance, evasion, a stun, a dispel, a 6-second hero delete button, and a shitload of damage. So the more things a hero struggles against in that list, the more Brewmaster counters them. But this is an unprecedented claim, and that's if you aren't a good Brewmaster, none of it matters. A good Brewmaster utterly destroys an Omni Knight, but a bad one is utterly destroyed by him. For the pyramid, I want to assume that the brew player is good, but that is a wild thing to claim. A good Brewmaster counters Oracle, Io, and Huskar the most. Oracle and Io represent the medic supports that can't support because they've been deleted with Cyclone, your Storm Brewling second spell. Huskar represents the man-fighting carry who is crippled by the evasion, the attack slows, and the dispels. Below that are carries that don't always build BKB but rely on landing last hits, so TA, Viper, and OD to an extent. And below them are heroes who can burst you to about 10% of your health, but then rely on finishing you off with auto attacks or DOTs. Imagine Bane, Batrider, Shadow Shaman, or AA and Venomancer. But on the flip side, just like how Wraith King's free second life is counterable with mana burn, Brewmaster's second life is destroyed by just killing the aspects. Luna does it, Anti-Mage does it, Axe does it, in fact a lot of late game carries do, but the thing is, there is no hero who can kill all 3 Brewlings until 30 minutes in. Before 30 minutes, the actual thing that kills you is stopping you from getting the ult off. Silences, extra long stuns, and mana burn, so Drow Ranger, Night Stalker, Quas, Wakes, Invoker to name a few, and below that are heroes that can make you ult and then just peace out, so Weaver, Nature's Prophet, and Queen of Pain. But the thing that stops a Brewmaster from winning in 90% of his games is you. I mean, not you, the person playing Brewmaster. Fuck off. As with every only way to play guide I've done, you can find this one in-game as well as on YouTube, the link is in the description, and the skill build goes like this. I take Brewmaster offlane, and I plan for a hard one. What's great about Brew is how strangely level independent he is. A value point in all 4 of his spells, and he's already set. Thunderclap is your standard AoE damage and slow spell, it's 30 damage, has a short cooldown, and you can also do this. Drunken Haze is one of the best level 1 skills in the game. At level 1, Haze gives 70% mischance for 4.5 seconds to one target. The only thing that increases is the slow and cooldown, but not by much. This is 50% of how you win the offlane. The other 50% is in Drunken Brawler. Brawl is a weird spell that confuses a lot of people. Basically, it's PA's Blur and PA's Coup de Grace wrapped up into one spell that also has a guaranteed proc of evasion and crit after 10 seconds. You get a guaranteed miss if you haven't been attacked by a hero, and you get a guaranteed crit if you yourself haven't attacked anything. But I mean, let's just ignore that, you're here for the ult. Primal Split hides you and spawns 3 new units in your place. It takes half a second to cast and you can be stunned in that. Nothing in the game can target you during Primal Split. Brewmaster is hidden on top of the Earth Panda, then the Storm Panda when the Earth one dies, and the Fire one when the Storm one dies. If all 3 die, so do you. The pandas all count as heroes, not creeps, so they can hit Phoenix's egg, can be shallow graved, and don't take bonus summon damage from Arcane Orb. Earth is the first unit you tab to. He has a permanent BKB, a 2-second stun with 800 range, and a passive called Demolish. It does extra damage to buildings. Ignore that for now. If you're stunning people, you're doing good enough with this panda. Storm is the second. He's ranged, but barely has any damage, but has one of the greatest spells in the game. So great, in fact, that they had to hide it in another spell. The spell Magic is the only spell in the game that is both an AoE ally debuff dispeller and an AoE enemy buff dispeller. Take this example. The enemy has an Omni Knight and a Warlock. Omni Knight casts his ult and Warlock Fatal Bonds every one of your allies. In one cast of Dispel Magic, both spells are instantly purged. Cyclone is the spell you'll use the most on this one. It's just Yules. Yules with a 6-second duration, put the enemy carry up there, kill their supports, purge the Cyclone with Dispel Magic, kill their carry. When Walk is just Shadowblade. Basically, it gives the Storm Panda 550 movement speed, invis, and a 220 damage bonus on his next auto attack. It also has a fade time of 0.6, which is a long time. You can cast it as it winds up another attack, get the bonus damage, but still be invisible for the next attack, 540 damage in 2 hits. And the third isn't as important. He has a short range radiance and is named Fire. Or the only good one, as the 1k player would say. Brewmaster's on an alcohol cleanse right now, and we should all learn to respect that, so no bottles, no clarities, and a good healthy diet of greens. Start off with 2 sets of tangos, a stout shield, a mango, and an iron branch. With evasion and mischance, the 8 tangos and stout shield are doubly effective. The enemy does damage every 5 hits, but even then the damage is blocked by stout and regained by tangos. Your only real threat is magic damage, but then we could just pick up raindrops. If I win my lane, I get greedy and get phase and miters. If I lose, I sulk and get tranks and wand and drums. In both builds, I definitely get blink, and I at least try to get radiance. Radiance gives a mischance, Brawler gives evasion. These two things are not the same and actually completely stack. And even further, two mischance sources do not have diminishing returns like two evasion sources would. Radiance plus Haze is an 87% mischance, it'd take 7 hits before you'd get a guaranteed hit, and even more when you factor in Brawler. Regardless, late game I will always get Assault Cuirass, and then game by game I'd either get Heart, BKB, Shivas, Hellbent, but never Ags. Ags gives Earth, Thunderclap, Storm, Haze, and Fire Brawler, but Thunderclap has a 13-second cooldown, when split only lasts 20. Haze is useless when you can just cyclone them anyway, and Brawler gives a unit with no damage items the ability to crit. Wow! We're nearly done here, boys and girls. See, it's not that hard. But before we end, let me just muse on the rest of Brewmaster's offerings and how to get the most out of him in each game. First off, you can easily take the exact same item and skill build and win mid, but my personal thoughts on that is if you have two mid laners, one that can be offlane and one that can't, always give the latter mid. When you take Brewmaster offlane, secure last hits like you normally would, haze the enemy carry when they go for one, punt him a few times and carry on. If the supports are keeping you down and away from the wave, just haze and attack them. In really dire situations, wait for your guaranteed crit, run in, last hit and back up to wait for the next. No hero in the game can fight Brew level 6, but every single one can run away. Get off your 2 slows before every ult, just the cast them alone gives someone enough time to get away without them. After you pick up Blink, the combo is Blink in, guaranteed crit, slam, haze, ult, but that is absolutely not the order every fight. In fact, the safest way to play is to pretend like you don't even have an ult. Get in there, soak damage, get your slows out, and only when you truly have to, ult. Like Black Hole, the threat of Primal Split is 90% of the spell's power, and it has a long cooldown. When casting it, select every unit, immediately hurl Boulder on the closest hero, doesn't even matter who, then immediately tab and Cyclone another. As you get better, the split-second decision of who to Cyclone gets easier. My personal hierarchy goes healing supports, carries with buffs on them, and then heroes that can counter-initiate like Enigma, Axe, and Tidehunter. But remember that after casting it, you're not out of the water yet. Not only can the pandas die, although the Storm one shouldn't really ever, considering you can Windwalk and run them away, you are in the exact same state you were in when you cast the spell. If you cast it on 1 HP, you would have regen to about 100 HP. Look at the Primal Split buff above your health bar and spam that blink button. But all in all, pace yourself. It's not like you have to know everything about the hero before you can win with him. Even I don't use Dispel Magic properly. Take it slow, practice mastering his first 3 spells, then master winning an offlane, slowly wean your way into Primal Split, start with remembering to hurl Boulder every 5 seconds, then remember to Cyclone, then combo it up, and Boulder Cyclone and Dispel Cyclone as the next Boulder comes up. It's a slow process. But pro players weren't born good. And you weren't born to just be a pro player fan. You're both people. People who have the ability to win TI, or write guides, or pick up a hot girl with your 6k MMR. There's no money, or location, or even socioeconomic restrictions. The only thing you need is you. See you on the main stage. So, unlike the last guide, this guide was brought to you by Michael Bauer, Gore Rocker, Leonard, Foxy fucking Loxley, Freekill, Chris, 1996, Pearson Mewborn, Locust Coupon, Mr. Magic aka The Tones, the infamous Logan Van Dusen, Mr. Revolut, Hubert motherfucking Cummerdale, The Crime Member Angel Face, Shoot, Shadow Sweetheart, Jeff Miller, Jacob Miller, no relation, I assume, Roger Mafleur, Turd Ferguson, Michael Robb, Kaiser Wilhelm, Oslovic, Shiva's Guard, Red, English Breakfast Tea, Snuggly Williams, Litho, Klamath, Yebus McGee, Soronog, Surprise Fatty, now part of the $5 Club, I1, XD, Christian Rudder, XZ, Milocott, Booty Souffle, Scar, Apache Mari wearing a headwear neckwear nicknamed as Hackcraster, Saintly motherfucking Swordfish, Zwok, Tsunami Shadow, Punith P, Rhett Mitchell, Aegis, Herpa Derpa Dooda Derp, Swaggity Booty, Boop Boo, Pro-S, Cody F, Fortunate Hive, Dice, Slap a Leg, I am on the side for it, Redless, I am one with the man on Kazoo, Kerrison, 15, just the number 15 I guess, Aaronin, Comrade, Rawface, Xenopenumbra, Chestnut, and the rest didn't pay enough to get me to read out their name. It's very awkward. This is pretty much me just shaming them now. Look at them all. Ugh. Look at that one. Ugh. Nah, I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding.